Welcome to Girl Dad, the podcast. I'm your host, Madeline Anderson, and I'm thrilled to bring you honest conversations with dads and daughters, sharing heartfelt stories, actionable advice, and real daughter perspectives that will help you be the best girl dad you can be. Tara Hines, welcome to Girl Dad, the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on and talk about your incredible father and your stepfather. And I would love for you to just kick it off by introducing yourself to the audience and telling us a little bit about what you do, where you're from, and your family.
Yeah, so my name is Tara. I am the founder of The Confident Artist. I am originally born and raised from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I have the honor of having two dads, I like to say, my stepdad and my dad. And they both taught me a lot of lessons and helped me grow in life. And so really just both of my dads have allowed me to build confidence and live that entrepreneurial lifestyle. So I'm excited to discuss that all today.
Yeah. Would love to kick it off by just talking a little bit more about your business, The Creative Artist. What inspired you to build that, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, I came up with this idea, coincidentally, I know the date just because I'm very big with numbers. I decided on December 22nd, 2022 that, my business, The Confident Artist, was gonna be built so that people can build their creativity in themselves and overall lead into confidence and everything. And I remember the exact moment I was sitting at dinner with my stepdad, Michael Burnoff, and, we were just talking, and I was like, "I feel like I need to encourage and build confidence in people to be more creative," and it's spread since then. I've hosted events, I've created a bunch of artwork commissions, I've taught people how to just be like touch into that creative side and really unlock their inner artist that they have, because everybody can be creative. I mean, they've created their whole life. So
That's amazing, Tara. It's funny you say that because when my husband and I were picking our wedding date and kind of like figuring out what days are available, when we want to do it, I chose March 22nd, 2025, because it was 3/22/25 and 3 plus 22 equals 25. So it's the 22nd, same as you, but also just kind of like aware of those numbers. So that's just kind of a side
hey,
note.
I love that date, and that's because it's my birthday, so I love that.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's crazy.
that is a perfect date. That's gonna be a great day to have your 1 year anniversary coming up.
I know, yeah, it is. It's right around the corner, and so is your birthday then. Oh, I
Yes.
love it.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, that's amazing what you're doing and so impressive. I love this, like, finding your inner artist. Have you read The Artist's Way?
Yeah, I have, like, a bunch of books sitting on my, like, shelf over here. Yeah.
I say that because, like, I'm somebody who struggles a little bit more on the artistic side. I love to write and to read, but in terms of like painting and drawing, I am not very talented in that department. But my little sister is like the opposite. She doesn't love math per se, but she is like the most incredibly talented, artistic type of gal. And we both read that book, and I think it was really fun to just kind of bond over something that can be taught. And it's amazing that you're able to help people who maybe have an interest but don't have that necessarily like natural, inclination or gift that you may have yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that is part of it. I mean, of course, everybody has a little bit creativity, and, like, the fact that you write and stuff, that's your form of creativity, and that's
Mhm.
my version is drawing and painting and all that stuff. The message of the comic artist is that, like, you can be creative in all areas of your life, and art is just what we learned since a child, and that was our first, like, kind of sense of creativity and using that imagination, using that creativity, and so that's what I get out of people whenever they come to one of my, like, courses or something, or I talk to someone. So the fact that you write and that's your creative outlet, that's the message and the mission of the comic artist. So
I love that. And something that's really amazing about you, on top of what you've built and everything, is you are both an athlete and an artist. And I think that's rare and impressive. But I would love for you to just talk a little bit more about your passions for both and kind of what both of those elements of your life have taught you.
So I have been a cheerleader all my life. I actually went to college and did cheer in college, and it was a mix of both worlds. It was, taking that creativity on, like, a canvas or something and then translating it to, like, the gym floor, like a mat or anything like that, and so, my athleticism has really um, got that discipline in me, that motivation to go and strive for more, which is something that any athlete can relate to because they're just like, I want to get the next thing. I want to get the next thing. So the part that I also communicate in the confident artist is that there's always that next level that you can achieve, and just having those both has really allowed me to connect on a deeper level with people who are athletes who didn't know that they were actually really creative when they went and like hit that volleyball or shot that hoop in the basketball kind of thing. So
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that it's so important for dads to pay attention to kind of what their daughters are interested in at an early age because you said, sports have taught you discipline and you've learned a lot through being an artist as well. And your confidence has been shaped around these two things. And I think that's so amazing to hear. And it's something that I completely agree with and align with. I mean, I played soccer and golf when I was growing up, and the amount of lessons that I've taken away from those sports, especially golf, like the patience that you have and the willingness to like put shots behind you and step up to the tee and just like blank slate, focus on what's right in front of you. There's so many things that I learned from it. And my dad was the one who kind of, he didn't force me to play, but he started me playing at a very early age when I like didn't really even know what I was doing, right? He handed me a club and taught me the sport. And I think, yeah, you learn resilience, like you said, and confidence. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
when did you start golfing?
I started playing golf when I was like 4 years old, but it was very casually. So my dad would just take me with him. He'd be playing with his friends. I'd ride along. I'd be looking for bunnies and any other wildlife. And then eventually he bought me a little Snoopy set that just had three clubs. It was a driver, a putter, and an iron. And
That's
so
awesome.
every other hole or so, I would hit some
Just
balls and then,
yeah.
yeah. And then it kind of like grew from there. And then finally, when I was in high school, he asked, "Do you want to join the golf team?" And it was not very cool to do that as a woman back then. I think it's a little bit better now. Not that it was so long ago, but it was just kind of it was something that I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to do this, and that's when I got more serious about it. But it was the best thing that one of the best things that my dad did for me was teach me this game that now we can bond over and have all these experiences together with. And yeah, but what would you say, like, if a father with a daughter had noticed his daughter is kind of interested in sports and is a little bit creative, what kind of advice would you give him?
Of course, I mean, any athlete understands that there is so much creativity in any field. Like for golf, for example, you have to get creative on how you're gonna shoot the next ball into the hole because you're like, okay, which angle do I do? Okay, do I get a little like do I try and go for this? You just get that imagination going. And for me, like when my stepdad Michael, he like instilled in this me very early on, which was something that I always live with. And I mean, I'm gonna carry it on to my kids and stuff. So he always expected greatness out of me, which is something that is just a wonderful thing for dad to do, but he always said, "You should be proud of yourself," and of course that because that's who you are. Like landing a back tuck in cheerleading, that was just something he knew I was gonna do, and so the moment I did do it, he just instilled that into me, and so from that, I knew that whatever I was able and capable of achieving, I can do it creatively, especially with cheerleading. There's a bunch of dance and stuff. So when I would perform, he'd be like, of course, you're going to go dance out there and be as creative as you are. That's just who you are. That's just how you show up. So it just always started like with him telling me, of course, of course, that's going to happen because you should be so proud of yourself of achieving all these things. That's how there's a lot of creativity and athleticism and stuff for me.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I love how he taught you to be proud of yourself. That's one thing that is such a good thing for dads to say because it's easy to say, "I'm so proud of you," but to teach your daughter to have the confidence from within that
Yeah.
she can be proud of herself and not to rely on only others to feel that kind of sense of confidence and pride.
Yeah.
That's such a great thing to instill in your daughter. So I
Absolutely.
love that he did that. And I love
Yeah.
how you shattered this narrative that I guess I must have had going into this conversation that creativity and painting and art is they go together. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
You are taking creativity and finding ways to apply it to everything in life and bring out the inner creative in everyone. And I just love that you're doing that because yeah, I think especially for young women, daughters or women in general, our minds work differently. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be kind of more in touch with our creative spirit and our feminine
Yeah.
energy.
And yeah, all that. It's definitely, yeah, I mean, that's just the stereotype. I feel like everybody's expected, like anybody who's really creative is supposed to be Monet or Picasso, all these like crazy artists, and they've set this standard so high that it's like, okay, I can only be creative if I'm Monet. I'm like, no, 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 no. There is much more to creativity.
Yeah. I love that. You're turning everything into an art. Like even a sport is an art, right? Like you were describing deciding where you're going to hit the ball. Like that itself is an art.
Yeah,
And I want to go back to what you said about your dad and him teaching you, or your stepdad, but him teaching you this confidence. He is somebody who teaches people how to get what they want out of life. So, would love to just touch more on how he's impacted your motivation and your confidence.
yeah. I mean, it's I'm really fortunate. Again, like I said earlier, like I was lucky to have both my dads teach me that. My dad, my biological dad, is very much logical, and he's a computer engineer, so he's just like, okay, like logical, very this, and that is creative in a lot of areas, and actually it helped me build my confidence in some areas. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not good at school, but then he like taught me that. But my stepdad, he actually taught me how to have confidence in who I am as a person, like, my person,
Mhm.
my being and everything too, and that was really powerful as well because I wouldn't be where I am without him in a lot of ways, and, he just really showed me that the communication that I have within my mind, the things I tell myself before even just, like, walking into a room, that's where it all begins because,
Mhm.
I mean, you met him, he's like communication expert over here, and so he just understands the whole focus on, how people interact with each other, and,
Mhm.
uh, I always from the moment I learned it from him, I knew that anything I should speak for response rather than for my own satisfaction,
Mhm.
and that was something key because it actually allowed me to communicate my brand, my art, the confident artist and all that stuff a lot differently than I was
Mhm.
actually intending it to be, so
Yeah, and I think those inner narratives are so important to navigate as a father teaching your daughter because they shape our perception of ourselves, right? Whatever we're telling ourselves every day, that changes our outlook on who we are and what we're capable of. And I think those narratives are shaped in 2 ways. It's one, what our parents usually like, this is just kind of like psychology 101, what our fathers say to us kind of, get written in our brain in Sharpie. That's what Reese Witherspoon just had this clip that everyone was, sharing, and she said that exact thing. And then number 2 is fathers can have an impact by teaching daughters what to say about themselves. And so that's kind of that affirmation, like you should be so proud of yourself. That is your dad helping shape that inner narrative that has built your confidence along the way.
100%.
And yeah, and even like telling you what to say before you walk in that room and you deliver a speech or put on an event, like that kind of self-confidence comes from those narratives that you day and day repeat and build who you are, and they can be learned very well. And I think the dads out there who are listening, you have such a potential to positively impact your daughters if you can help build that narrative for her in a positive way.
Yeah, especially I mean, yeah, for all the dads listening right now, you guys are the first man in a little girl's life, and so you're already doing so great. Like the confidence that you can build in your child is like the most important thing that they can take on because any parent wants like would hate for their kid to move out of the house, but they want them to. That's what I've really loved about my stepdad. He just automatically did. I see it with my little sister too. She's a figure skater, and so he builds her confidence all the time, and she now has it all on her own and stuff. So it's just something that is so valuable in the
Mhm.
father-daughter relationship.
Yeah. What one thing that I talk a lot about on this podcast is work-life balance and helping dads have a good balance and feel good about their balance, but it's not necessarily like time spent with the family equals time spent at work, in my perspective. And I think one thing that has been really helpful is helping dads recognize from the daughter perspective how we think about work and how if you include us in your work world and we understand what you're doing, it doesn't feel like this thing that like pulls away from us, right? It's more we feel like a part of it and we feel proud and honored and inspired by our fathers. And I think one way that is amazing to do that is by including your daughter in your work a little bit. So I know that's something that your dad does with you, but I would love to hear from your perspective how that has impacted how you feel about his work life balance and, if he's working really hard, if that is affected less because you understand exactly what he's doing and you're a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a part of it since I was 6 years old, which is, I've never not been in the family business, I like to say, because it's just like I was sitting there like as like a 7, 8-year-old, just like picking up the phone and talking to people, confirming people for their events and everything. And so I now like working with my family as more of a full-time position and managing a lot of what he does on social media. I take that to the next level because I'm like, I love and care about my stepdad so much that I'm like, I want more people to hear what he has to say. And so when it comes to the work-life balance, it's just we're all on this mission to help people get better. And so that's what our whole like outside of it all, my like we're just on that mission. Like going to the grocery store, yeah, we're gonna make sure that the cashier has whatever we can do or say to make that person feel a little bit more confident in themselves that day. It translates all over on what we do just because we're so focused that there's so many people like hurting in this world that they need to have that happiness and stuff and that
Mhm.
confidence like we were talking about. And so there's no like really work life balance. It's just like life. This is just the reality of life and everything for our family. And that's something that is so prevalent to a lot of I feel like a lot of dads nowadays because 'cause they're just like, "Oh, I have to go to work, and then I have to leave my family," and maybe it's even that they work from home. It's just life, and, like, so we gotta have the best of it. We gotta make any little moment, going to the grocery store, going to the movies. We've always focused on just having a great time, making sure that everybody around us is recipients of our greatness and, like, all that, so that's how we
Yeah.
navigate that.
No, that's great. And I think what I'm hearing is your work and your dad's work that you work together on
Yeah.
is such a passion that it's like that quote, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life, right? So for you, the balance is the more you work, the more you're impacting the world and it's all a good thing. And so it's not about like hours spent away from the family. It's more about your dad is building something to influence others and to impact the world and you love to be a part of it and you're part of the mission. And so it's just a win-win. Like work is just part of your life and it's part of his and it's not something that you look at him and you say, I wish he worked less and spent more time with me because you're a part of it and you respect and love what he does.
Exactly, yeah, you said it perfectly. We're all a part of it, and there's no moment in time where we're like, "Oh, work comes first." It's like, no, life comes first, and this is our life. We work to help people achieve that confidence, achieve that happiness, and that's what we do on a daily. We're this is just what we do as a family.
Yeah. No, and I think that's something that a lot of people probably strive to achieve in terms of that fluidity with work and life and being so passionate about what you do so that it does make you so happy and lights you up. But I know that there's a lot of people a lot of dads who are working, traditional office jobs or the 9 to 5 or just grinding on their own business or whatever it may be where they feel like it does pull them away. And I wanna use this example and the way that you just spoke about, your dad's work-life balance, to help dads remember that we just wanna be a part of your world, and the more that you can share about what you're doing, what you've got going on, what projects you're working on, the more that it doesn't matter if you're spending time away doing that, if we understand what you're doing and we respect that you're out there doing something that hopefully lights you up because we want that too, right? Like, we wanna see our dads happy.
Sure.
Um, yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it's just we want to understand and we wanna be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm so lucky to have and work with my stepdad on that, and then I have also the knowledge of my biological dad worked 9 to f like, he worked, countless hours. He's an entrepreneur as well with, the computer engineering and stuff. He also on times, like, I'd be like, "Me and what's going on, like, with your life? Like, what's going on with what are you developing nowadays?" And even him, he, like, helped me understand, like, that work life difference,
Mhm,
and so he it was always just, "This is life," and so I think as a kid, the most important thing a father could do is communicate and inspire that passion of entrepreneurship. If anything, that's how that's communicated to a child, like, "Hey, we do this and this during the day, and, like, here's how you can maybe do it if you're doing this," kinda thing.
mhm. Yeah, and it's inspiring for us daughters to look up to our dads who are doing something that adds value and that they care about because I think, if you think about the reverse of that, right? If there's a dad who is working super hard, but he's always complaining about what he does and how he doesn't like his work and he doesn't really share into his world other than that, then what we hear, especially at a very young age, we hear, okay, there's this thing called work. Dad spends a lot of time on it. He doesn't like it, but he seems to prioritize it more than me. And that's hurtful for the daughter, but it also is not at all the dad's intention. And I think that's why it's just important to have these kinds of conversations as daughters and share that we wanna see you, lit up. We wanna see you inspired, and for us, it makes us wanna go and do something that we care about and add value to the world, rather than looking at work and being like, "I don't know what that is, and I don't want anything to do with it." Um,
Yeah,
but
it definitely in the right, like, way, of course, like, bringing a daughter into the world of, like, work and business and giving her, like, little lessons and stuff, that can actually spark so much more in her to strive for more too, and that's, like, so key if you want your kid to be successful and everything, which all parents do, so,
Mhm,
um, just roping them in on those types of conversations of, like, "Okay, this happened at work today," or, "This wasn't super great, but, we managed to bounce back." Those are things that little girl one day will become adult and hear and experience. So it's
mhm.
good to know that she has a dad who she can go to and reference, like, "Hey, I remember you said this at one point in my childhood, and now I'm facing it at work. Can you help me?"
Exactly. Yeah. Um, Another thing that I wanted to touch on because you're young, and I think there's a lot of dads listening who kind of have that preteen or teenage daughter age range. Is there any examples of ways that, your dad's support kind of shifted during those teenage years and any specific stories of how he remained connected to you or supported you in a time that you needed him? Because that tends to be like a more challenging, time for us daughters, but even just the father and daughter relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that a young girl is gonna start thinking different things, and the dad's gonna be wanna all be protective and stuff. And I went to a small school in high school, and like I remember there was points where I was like, I should not be here. What am I doing? Like, and
Mhm.
I'm so fortunate that I would call my stepdad and be like, hey, come pick me up or something like that. Like I need to get out of here. And that's what really made it the most important thing. He always was there to help out and, like, be on call, and I think that's an important thing for dads who have high schoolers, middle schoolers, that age, always being there like, just supporting and being like, "I'm here to love on you and, like, be there and support you, and, like, if you need me, I will be there." That's the most important thing that a father could do for a daughter, is just know that, "Hey, I'm your dad, I'm here, I wanna be that person in your life that you can turn to because I will always love you." And so, I mean, I was, like, bullied in middle school, and so my dad my stepdad always knew, like, "Hey, if you need me, just text." I would be,
Mm.
like, at cheer practice, end of practice, I'd be like, "I need to get out of here right now," kinda thing. And so, he just was always there to love on me, and then we'd get in the car, and he completely changed my state. We'd start driving around listening to music and all that, like, fun music and stuff, and so, that's the most important thing, just taking any frustration that happens at school, or just, the taking it and being like, "Hey, when we come home and we're a family, like, you don't have to worry
Mhm.
about that."
Mhm. Yeah, that is so powerful, and, you know, I think from the daughter's perspective, knowing that your dad has your back
Mhm.
means so much, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially during those teenage years when, yeah, maybe you're in situations where you wanna leave, but the fact that you know you can call your dad avoids all kinds of trouble, and I know that, on this podcast, I've talked a little bit with other dads about different parenting styles and different levels of, like, rules and whatnot, but I think it's really up to the individual, but one thing that I will be very, firm on is my belief that there's this, call me no matter what policy, and making sure that your daughter knows that you've got her no matter what.
100%.
And no questions asked, you're there for her, you care about her, and you care about her safety and her well-being, and that you have unconditional love for her. And if she feels that and knows that genuinely, your relationship is gonna be stronger. She's probably gonna be in safer positions because of it. And I think that it helps those teenage years that are traditionally, a struggling period of time, be not so bad because there's not much to rebel against and you respect that kind of relationship that you do have because it's built on trust.
Exactly, yeah, and, I agree so much because it's just, like, the moment that your daughter recognizes that there's no judgment from you, there's no, your dad's always gonna love you, and so that's the most important part, that, like, always pick up the phone kinda thing, I'll always be there. That's where that love that a daughter first sees, because it's like, "Wow, there's a man in my life who knows that is like, I can call at any point and just, like, he can talk, he can be there, he can, just support me in who I am." There's not gonna be any judgment or anything, and that's an important part as well as, like, a father-daughter relationship.
Absolutely. And it also sets the bar for her future relationships. Like, if you're telling your daughter that you're always going to be there for her and that you're going to be her rock, she's not going to be, attracted to the kind of person who would be not there for her and kind of not, treating her the way that you would want her to be treated.
I mean, like, for a dad, you gotta set that example so that the guy or girl she picks, later on in life is, someone you wanna hang out with as well, 'cause
True.
it's like, we're gonna be like, "You love my daughter, I love her more, we're just gonna have to live together."
That's so true. It's like in your best interest as the dad, as well as obviously your daughter's best interest. But
Yeah,
yeah, I never thought about it like that. That's so
yeah,
funny. But yeah,
yeah.
my dad and my husband love
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out. My dad's always like, "Wait, is Max coming down too?" I'm like, "Yeah, but what about your daughter?"
I get that. I mean, my boyfriend and sometimes I'll be on the phone, like, there'll be work things I'm talking about, and then he'll be like, "Okay, what's Jaden up to today? Is he taking
Yeah.
care, like, what's he up to?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's doing good too." It's
Yeah.
just I'm so happy that, first off, found a person that I love and care about, so much so that my family loves him, and that my
Yeah.
dad set that example of what standards I should have in finding my future person, that kinda thing, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's so true. And I think it all yeah, all of your hard work as a father in shaping these things pays off, like you said.
I mean, hey, you could find your new best friend out of a Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So looking back on your life so far with your dad and your stepdad, what is one of your favorite memories?
There are honestly so many, and my dad, my biological dad, he, um ever since I was a kid, him and my grandfather were just always so close, and, that, like, it showed me that, like, I can be close to them as well and everything, and so there was moments where, we went on vacation to this, Ocean City, New Jersey every summer, and my dad, whenever he was there, he would just be on the roller coasters, have fun, and my granddad would do the same. He would drop anything for me. Like, he set the example for my dad in a lot of ways, and so, anytime we would go to Ocean City, that was just the time to have fun, be there with my dad, be there with my cousins, and so having those joyous memories as a kid, that was something that really, like, grew me up because I was around family so much, and I understood the value of having a dad in your life and really connecting with my dad and stuff, so always those trips, but with my stepdad, I actually, because we are now working, and there's so many with him as well, but I'll tell you a more recent one. I go with him on work trips a lot, which is something that I'm so appreciative because, I
Mhm.
mean, it's cool we get to go do these father-daughter excursions together and get to meet new people and help new people as well, but we actually, again, it's the fun that he's always making a fun moment happen, but we were walking down the street in Atlanta and, we came across, have you seen those, like, little, like, robot DoorDash things that are, like,
Oh, yes.
so we came across, like, a herd of them, and we just made the best time of it. Like, we just had so much fun. We were like, "Let's go chase after them," or like, "Where are we going? Like, they're leading us," that kinda thing, and so, I think from both those, like, prevalent stories in my life, like, they just showed that any situation, depending on what state of mind you're in, can change. Like, I like, both of those were both of those times were very happy, fun times, and I think that's very important. Like, you just gotta have a little fun, even if
Yeah.
from when you're a kid to when you're an adult, because I think that's something that gets forgotten along the lines. Those are the most important, like, those are the most important lessons I've learned, just, like, having a little bit of fun, having that lightheartedness, like, we're family, we can drop everything when, like, we can drop all the stereotypes, all the beliefs about us, we're just here having fun, and that's what I've got, like, both my dads.
I love that. And it's funny, I ask this question to a lot of the daughters that I interview, and every single time it's this little story. You know what I mean? And that just reinforces that for us girls, it's the little things that matter the most. We're not talking about, oh, my favorite memory was when he bought me this thing that was so expensive. It's the little things. It's the way that your dad made things fun, or, you went on roller coasters and just enjoyed being present in life. That is what we care about. And that's what we take away from all these different memories with our dads. So I think that's just important to remember. It really is just the little things that matter the most, and to make every day fun, and to live it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, I know, like, referencing golf earlier with your dad, like, I'm sure, like, those little moments that you were talking about just
Mhm.
led up, they compound over time and lead into such a great relationship that you can have.
It's so true. I have so many memories with my dad on the golf course, and so many laughs, and so many fun games that we've made up, and now it's, a standard routine anytime we go play golf. And yeah, it's so true. It's all those just little moments that make life fun, and bring you together and closer with your family. So, I love it. Well, we're coming up on time, but I would love for you to finish with just one piece of advice that you would give to all the fathers with daughters out there.
Um, wow, there's just so many that as a daughter, I have just gotten the privilege to be on the recipient side, but the biggest thing that I've learned as a daughter that fathers can really become aware of is that your daughter is just a little you, and that is the most important part because, like, you're being a father, you're like, "I have to care and love on this daughter so much," and that sometimes gets a little confusing because it's, you don't wanna argue, you don't wanna fight, all these things, you just wanna protect and make sure she has the best life possible, and I think having that focus, that tunnel vision on like, this is my daughter, this is who I love, this is I'm growing, I'm raising her, and just reminding that I'm so proud of her and all of her accomplishments, but at the same time, like, this is who I'm raising, and I want to be that example. I want to love on her. I want to show her how to have fun. I want to show her that confidence, and overall, just of course, being there and supporting her. There's just so much that you can do as a father to support and love and have fun with your child, because that's going to make the biggest difference when she becomes older.
So true. Well, thank you, Tara. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for all of your advice and stories and fun energy. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been truly an honor to be on this podcast, and I'm so excited to hear what these fathers have to share with their daughters now.
Thank you for tuning into Girl Dad, the podcast. If you found today's conversation helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow girl dad. I read every review and truly take your words to heart. To close out, remember, your intentional moments make lasting legacies. See you next week.